Yo, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good to see you again, and OP06 is right around the corner. So a couple of friends of mine and I have been rocking some proxy matches at locals afterwards and just getting some games in. And I got my good friend Big Meech here running the Perona, as well as I'm running Gecko Moria. Now, I will say before this that both of us are very, we're very new to OP06 and we're just testing a bunch of stuff out. So the lists might not be like the most optimal lists, but they also might not be, we'll make a few mistakes here or there. So while we're going over this, though, I know there are a lot of cards that are newer to myself, but also newer to anybody that hasn't been playtesting an absolute, crazy amount of games on the sim. So I will be posting up, some images here just to explain like what some of the cards do, and just go over kind of like my thought process of how I think some of these lists should work, as well as like how they feel as I'm playing them. But she does get baby 5 down on the first turn, so I don't have a turn 1 play with a new pay. But I've actually recently changed the list just a bit to not have a new pay and actually run brand new instead. But I will be showcasing that list in some upcoming videos with Gecko Moria very soon. But right now, this is the list that I was running, and I like this. It was just, it had some, inconsistencies that I wasn't super happy with. But she does pick up the 10 cost, what was it? The 10 cost Doflamingo off of baby 5 and then puts down a Rocinante for the block. I go ahead and choose to counter out with Perona here because I wanted to use leader effect. And with leader effect, I do end up getting to, get a card out of trash. And now I'm just choosing which one I want to trash out of hand. I think I'm more than likely just going to get like, I don't know, some random card that's not really going to do me the best because I have a Perona already. So I'm like, yeah, Helmeppo's in hand. I don't think we really need these. I'm more like to have these into the trash so that I can get the, advantage off of that 8 cost Moria once it comes down. But playing Perona from leader effect, I do end up getting to trash one from my opponent's hand, and she is just kind of considering, what cards am I interested in getting rid of. Does get rid of the 10 cost Doflamingo. I do think Dofi is actually extremely important in this matchup, but she does have baby 5 still on board, so this allows like for a lot of searching and potentially getting another 10 cost Dofi pretty quickly. But I believe she is just going to use leader effect here to rest the Perona, and then is going to swing 7 into Perona. I know that personally I'm like, that's totally fine for me because I can just get the card back using leader effect anyways, so it kind of feels like I just got a free block out of that. But, not developing like a Ryuma or something like that was pretty good for me. But unfortunately, I don't think she had one in the hand at the time. So, all things considered, probably the best route to go right here. And, did end up using the 10 drop, or excuse me, the baby 5 to find a 10 drop, and then plays the Anupe to draw 2 and trash 2, recycling the hand a little bit, getting some cards into trash that are really helpful for whenever 8 cost Moria comes online. And now I will go ahead and play Sindri here. I want to get 5 more cards into the trash just to see if I can, maybe find the card I was looking for. Unfortunately, I didn't find Absalom. That's what I was really looking forward to, was potentially having an Absalom in trash. But with 5 Dawn remaining, I think we're just going to go ahead and play down the Sabo from hand. And yeah, I'm just really trying to get to that 8 cost Moria. And we do end up finding Absalom though, which I'm very happy about. And I also go ahead and choose to trash a Rebecca. Rebecca's been kind of a weird card for me in Gecko Moria. The more that I've played it, the more that I haven't really enjoyed having it in the list. So recently I have been switching it out, but I do understand that some people run Rebecca as well as the Hina combination in this list, but I've found it to be not really as necessary. But Leader effect does rest my Sindri, and now we'll see a 7k swing into life. She does get her own Sabo and is going to trash a Ryuma. So Ryuma gets onto or into the trash, which is actually very good for her, having the ability to go ahead and do that for, you know, like any 4 cost that I play once she has Gecko Moria. That's going to be really solid. And yeah, I mean, she's looking great right now. Is going to pass it over, though. We're at the 8 Dawn turn. I believe I have picked up Gecko Moria now. So all things considered, we're not looking too shabby. I'm just going to go 5 to life, though. She'll rest the Sabo. And now I'm going to go 6 to life. I want to pressure some of the life right now just because I know that I'm going to have a really nice Gecko Moria turn coming up very soon. And I do choose to play this Rebecca, though, picking up Perona. I'll play the Anupe off of Rebecca effect, which the draw 2 and trash 2 picks me up another 8 cost Moria. I love to see it because, you know, chaining these cards out in multiple times in a row can be really daunting for my opponent. So I'll just go ahead and get Absalom as well as Suru into trash, and then forcing her to trash another card with Perona. And sadly, it does happen to be a 10 cost Doflamingo. Yet again, we both really didn't know the matchups extremely well. So I would say like 10 cost Doflamingo ends up being extremely important into this matchup. And so to have 2 of them forced out from Perona is actually really massive for us. But she will use the leader effect to go ahead and rest that Rebecca. Anupe just KOs the Rebecca, which makes Rebecca feel even worse now. But, you know, hey, it did its job. It arguably got a block. Not really, but 6k into Sabo. I'll just go ahead and counter out, and another 6k into Sabo, though I'm going to have to let it go. And now Gecko Moria is going to bring back Borsalino as well as Anupe. So Anupe is going to get another draw 2, trash 2, gets another Ryuma into trash. Unfortunately, though, without another Gecko Moria, those cards really aren't doing you much. So it felt like that might have been a turn to be a little more aggressive, potentially, is to, you know, put down the Ryuma rested and KO Perona, and then get like the 2 cost blocker Roshinante. But I'm going to go ahead and choose to Ice Age the Gecko Moria, bringing it down to a 3 cost. And now I get my own Moria here. And this is just, it's so nice just being able to use Helmeppo rested and then bring back Absalom. I don't believe I had a Rob Lucci in trash at this point. Otherwise, I probably would have went that route. But Absalom allows me to just return 2 cards and then KO a 2 cost or less. So I get that big threat Gecko Moria off the board. And I'll go ahead and swing 3 into one of the Anupes. And that on KO effect is so nice, just being able to get a bunch of cards into trash. Being able to draw 2, trash 2. I'm going to go another 5 into the other Anupe. Just didn't want to allow her to have as many, you know, as many characters on board as possible and being able to swing into everything I have. So I'll just go ahead and pass it over. But I don't think it was horrible to go for the Anupe with the 5k swing, but I think that realistically going to life probably would have been better. But this leaves her with the 10 Dawn here, and she will use the leader effect to rest Absalom, and now she really has an opportunity to play like a super solid 10 cost Doflamingo here. But imagine if one of those Doflamingos from trash was back in hand. I mean, chaining both of those would have been absolutely devastating for me. And another 5k swing with Borsalino, though. I believe this is going into Perona, if I'm not mistaken. And I only have 2 cards in hand, so I will just counter out of this first 5k. But 10 cost Doflamingo is going to rest some of my cards, and she's just going to go ahead and pass right here. So Perona, leader, as well as Helmeppo are frozen for this turn. And now I've got to work against a pretty solid board while my opponent is still very healthy and has a much larger hand size than I do at the moment. Yeah, this is a tricky one. This is definitely a tricky one. Luckily, we drew into that second 8-cost Moria, though. So I'm just going to swing 9k probably into the Borsalino here. We're probably just going to see 2Ks if she wants to save it. And I thought this was really funny because I think we both forgot in the moment that Borsalino was a 6k. So she rested the Sabo when in reality it was kind of irrelevant because Borsalino was already a 6k. But yeah, the 2k counter, our two 2k counters there is going to work out pretty well. And now I've got a couple of cards that I can work with. I could block her up, or I can play like Anupe and block her up, or I could play Helmeppo and Absalom. And I choose to change my mind a little bit right here and go with the Helmeppo Absalom to KO Sabo off of the board. I just didn't want her to have, you know, multiple blockers for the turn after. I'm trying to be as aggressive as possible because I know that my clock is ticking. I sadly only have like you know, one card in hand now. And something that it took me a second to realize was that I still have Perona and Helmeppo frozen right next to my leader, but I do end up realizing it right now, and I'm like, oh shoot, whoops, I played these two cards. I was meant to trash these. So now we're all correct. I got the 5 cards on board. We're looking great. She will get out of the 5k swing though with a 1k, and now she's got some work to do to be able to KO Gecko Moria as well as the rest of the board. And this was, I believe this was a turn that she realized afterwards. She made a bit of a misplay. So 5k with Sabo is going to get some cards into the trash, but also drawing into some new ones, which is really nice. But she ends up messing up just a little bit. Goes 5 into the Anupe first, which allows me to cycle my hand. I had a dead card in hand, and now this allowed me to pick up a 2k counter. And so when she goes 10 with Doflamingo into Gecko Moria, I was able to pick up that 2k off of Anupe. So slight misplay there, pretty costly being able to, for me to be able to keep that second Gecko Moria onto the board. But it looks like a good portion of my board has been wiped. However, we've got the strongest portions still available to us, which is really nice. Now, we both only have one card in hand. I know that I have to deal with what's going on here, but I'm just kind of thinking about what is the best way for me to do this. She did play Vergo just to have an extra swing. Knows that more than likely the 10 costs as well as the Borsalino are going to go down this turn. So having that extra swing could potentially be the difference between getting Gecko Moria, my 8 costs off the board and not. So we'll see. A 10k swing though into 10 cost Doflamingo is just going to let it go. So now I know that 3 out of the 4 in the list are gone. So I feel pretty confident about just being able to go 6k into Borsalino and have that work. So it does work pretty well for us. And now I've got leader effect as well to go ahead and start getting some cycling. I do end up resting the 2. I get back Hogback. Oh shoot, please tell me I didn't forget to trash the card. Did I? Oh no, did I forget to trash the card from hand? Oh no, please. Please. Oh no. Oh my god, I'm the worst, dude. Oh no. Oh god. Meech is gonna watch this back over, and I mean, yet again, guys, we were learning, but oh dang, I forgot to trash the card from hand. So that Sabo shouldn't even be there. That's irrelevant. Oh dang. All right. Super bad misplay on my part, and yeah, she's gonna end up getting what is this, 8 Dawn for a Gecko Moria, it looks like. Yep, 8 Dawn for Gecko Moria. Unfortunately though, oh man, I think that would have changed the game, because she would have been able to 100% get down, what do you call it? Oh, and see, look, and I'm saying, oh, with the Sabo, nothing can be KO'd. Oh, jeez, I totally... Oh, jeez, this game is so butchered. But you know what? I like to post these just because, you know, hey, even though there was a misplay, it's kind of like, hey, this is the learning moment. As we're trying to get into OP06 and having the cards in front of us for the first time, when we were playing on the sim, everything just kind of works for you. It's like, hey, the card effects just work as they go. And now I realize, oh man, that's such a bummer. But I've definitely got, I think I definitely have game here. I mean, she has three cards in hand, but we have a bunch of swings and one illegal swing for sure. Oh, brother. Well, you know, it is what it is. You learn from your mistakes, and that's why I like to post these, because it makes me go, okay, I can't do that again. And if I post it as a recorded match, I'm going to feel so silly. Oh, I actually didn't even realize that I did that in the moment, but now just looking back over it, yeah, that's pretty wild. And now I can go ahead and get Absalom down into the play and KO the Sabo right here. She's gonna block though and give me a 1k counter from the 7k, or no, excuse me, not the 1k. Or was it a 1k? I'm not entirely sure, but I'll just go 5 into life, and this is going to get countered out. I do still have the Sabo as well as the Gecko Moria. She's only got one card in hand though, so it is kind of irrelevant. And I end up taking the game, but definitely a massive mistake on my part there at the very end. So I love OP06 though. It's been a lot of fun to practice these matches. Definitely been some mistakes that I've been trying to figure out, you know, and get better with. It does feel like a lot of the cards have some more interaction than in previous sets. So, you know, with a lot of the being able to revive or essentially like replay your cards from the grave, there are those effects that you gotta keep your eye on. So good learning moment all around, and a bit of a mistake on my part. So we're going to take this one as an L on my part, and Big Meech is going to take that as a disqualification win, okay? But hope you guys enjoyed the matches. I got some really good ones coming up here soon, and they won't be having any misplays, hopefully. So I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.